what about First Dawn? First Dawn blue. I wake up in the morning and the first thing I see is First Dawn blue. It's fresh, it's nice, it reminds me of a beach house. It's kind of cold. I don't really like being cold. Oh, okay. What about Tangerine Twist? Oh, that's aggressively orange. It's okay, something calmer. That's it. Copper Blush. Copper Blush. Copper Blush is the one. Yes. No, it's just beige. Kiwi Crush looks like puke. Trench Coat's kind of cute, but I can't really think about trench coats without thinking about flashers. Sweet Pink. I'm neither. Ugh, Conquer. I don't even know where to begin with that one. See, when I was a teenager, I was a wee goth, and I really wanted to paint my room entirely black. I had a friend who did it, and she even painted the ceilings black, and I thought it was metal as fuck. So I spoke to my parents about it, and they said, absolutely not. What would that say about you? And that kind of stuck with me. After my goth phase, my favourite colour, no, not my favourite colour, my signature colour was red. Everything was red. I had red shoes, a red backpack, I had red hair, red lipstick, and I wanted red walls. So I went to B&Q with my mum, and there was this beautiful colour, and I can still remember it. It was called Red Raspberry. And it was the exact hair colour that I wanted. It was that beautiful blend between pink and red. But I knew if I actually dyed my hair that colour, my mum would have an actual stroke. So I thought maybe she'd let me get away with the walls instead. So I pointed it out and said, this is the one. And she said, no. She said, it's too dark. She said, it's too dark. It'll make your room look dark. It'll make your room look smaller. And also from outside, it'll make it look like you belong in the red light district. I went back with my pocket money and I bought it anyway. And I tried to sneakily paint the walls as if nobody would notice, but I made such a mess of it. And for like the next 2 weeks after, my dad had to apply about 14 coats of white paint just to cover it up. You know, I don't even think I got into that much trouble for it. They just wiped the slate clean and then didn't say anything more about it. I mean, of course, eventually when I moved out, I moved into rented accommodation, and then all my thoughts about how the wall colour was important went away because I couldn't paint. So it was more about things like what I hung in the frames or where I hung the fairy lights. And it was novelty Christmas bed sheets, I remember those, and people who I shared them with. People who come into your space and then they leave too early. But not this time. This one's my space, and I can paint it whatever colour I want. But I can't decide. I've been staring at this thing for a week, and I just can't decide what colour I think best represents me. Who do you think comes up with the names of these things? Like Urban Obsession and Barley Cream, because that sounds like an amazing job. Like paint colours and hair dye, people who come up with the names of those, I want that job, because it's not just like selling a colour, it's also selling a feeling as well. My sister used to know this girl in high school, and she had synesthesia, and she was amazing at art. She used to draw these completely bonkers portraits of people with, like, you know, colours melting off their faces, because that's what she saw. She saw people as colours. And apparently my sister was a deep blue. And I remember this story she told me one day where the girl like marched up to her and demanded to know what had happened because her colour had changed. She said that my sister had gone from like a deep blue to like a really light periwinkle blue, and there had to be a reason why. And to my sister it was just a normal day, but this girl was adamant that something had happened. I don't know why I remember that. I mean, I know it doesn't mean anything, but at the same time, I'm so curious. Like, I want to go up and ask her, be like, what colour am I? I've been in lots of rented accommodations so far, and it's only now I actually get to do what I want with my space. And I don't want to take that lightly because it's important. I mean, color has like a psychological effect on you. I once read that there was this football team that painted the away team's locker room pink. And apparently this pale pink has like an emotional suppressant thing. So while they're getting like G'd up for a game, these guys are like super mellow in this pink room. So it's important. It's really important. I need to figure out how I want to feel in this space. Space is a funny word. It's one of those words that can mean so many things. Like if you played a word association game and you said space, it'd be really telling about the other person what they said. You should play it on a date. Go on a date and then play the game and then see what they say. And if they say something like astronaut or galaxy or stars, that's a keeper. I'd think that's a keeper. But if they said parking space, get them to fuck. I think the first word that comes into my head when you say space is plus. I mean, it's no secret that I take up a lot of space physically. But it's just sitting here with all these colours and all the advice from my parents from long ago circling my head that I realised that everything I know just doesn't make sense. Like, okay, I know that if you want to make a space feel bigger, you paint it a light colour and you add mirrors. I know that if you want people to think about outside, then you paint it a colour like soft apple or meadow skies. I know that if you want to draw the eye to a certain place, you add like a super bold colour like monarch. And I know that whenever I get into a lift with people, I'll tuck my tummy and I'll round my shoulders and I'll try to make myself smaller. I know that on public transport, if a guy spreads his legs next to me, I'll cross mine to give him the space. I know every colour my mother would say would make a space feel smaller, and I have a dress in every one of them. But I also know that my dad, who's this big guy with a loud laugh, lights up every room he walks into. His patter is brighter than lemon pie or sunny day. He draws the eye better than any colour can. How does he do that? This is my space, and there's no one colour I can paint it. Cause I'm hundreds of colours. See, when I'm tired, I am muddy puddle. When I am angry, I am mulberry burst. When I work out, I am banana split. I am volcanic red when I fuck, and when I am inspired, I am Nordic sky, and I am never going to make myself feel smaller again. This is my space, and I'm going to take up every single inch of it with all my colours. You know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I don't even think this room is actually white. It's like a little bit off. Let me see. Just like I thought. Clean slate.